Hello, friends. Audrey here. I hope you're having a wonderful week. As usual, because of my schedule, I am recording early in the morning. It's not too early. I woke up at 4, but it is 5:36 now. So I wanted to share with you this week. I wanted to talk about schedules because for those of us who have school-age children at home, this fall is going to be interesting, whether you are sending your kids to school or you might have to keep them home because of quarantines and things. So for me, I am keeping my children at home. I think that's the best option for us, and thankfully I'm fortunate enough to be able to work from home. So even though it's a juggle and it's going to cut into my quote-unquote work time, I've been dealing with it since March, so I think I can roll with the punches and figure it out. So anyway, I have devised a little schedule. It is August 19th. I still have to look. It is August 19th, and our school doesn't open. Our kids' school doesn't open or begin in our county until September 8th. And I think in all of West Virginia, I think that's what the governor announced. So what I want to do starting next Monday is we'll have a couple of weeks of preparation, actually like 3 weeks of preparation. So I'm going to go ahead and start Monday, no, 2 weeks as of next Monday, next week and the week after before school starts. So next week, I'm really going to lock down a schedule. This week, we're kind of wrapping up for it, but I've created a schedule and I wanted to share it with you guys to kind of give you ideas about how you can fit in things. And this for me is based off the sample plans that our county has given out. Really, nothing's been locked down yet, as is the case with so many people. The school plans are in concrete yet for places who haven't begun. They're still trying to figure it out. They're still watching what's going on around the nation before they make decisions and settle things. So anyway, so for us, what the kind of sample schedule they gave us was about like 9:15 a.m. to 2:15 p.m. They're going to have with an hour lunch break. They're going to have the kids be on their personal devices. Now, we don't know exactly what it's going to look like. I guess all the kids are going to get an iPad, but they also sent out an email saying that there were delays because there are so many devices being ordered across the nation for this situation. So over the next 2 weeks, I'm going to be practicing, and we're going to practice without devices, except for a little something. But you'll see that in a minute. But the point is, I'm kind of going off of the 9:15 a.m. to 2:15 p.m. schedule. I'm doing 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And I'm going to get the kids practicing with this schedule before school starts. And then once school starts and I have a better idea, well, we have an actual schedule, then of course I'll adjust, and I'd be happy to share that with you too. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and share screen and show you what kind of schedule I have going on here. Here we go. I love this. I have a MacBook Pro, so I have numbers, and I love this. They have this template. It's already right here. You just enter your start time, your type of blocks, and then you can, of course, drag it down to what works for you. So for me, I'd like to get up no later and begin my day no later than 5 a.m. And this would be 2 hours in the morning during the weekday that I could get business tasks done, like marketing, like these videos, like blog posts, like my newsletter stuff. And I did not fill in Saturday and Sunday because I really just don't feel like that applies to what I'm trying to focus on here. And, there will be some weekends when it's, family stuff. It's going out, it's having fun, not going out like to the movies or something. We're typically going out like to a baseball field where there's nobody else and we're playing with kids. So anyway, so I'm not doing the weekends here. I just wanted to show you my like day-to-day schedule so I'm, can share ideas about how to balance this. So anyway, now let me preface this by saying, no, I'm not a morning person, but since having kids, I've had to adapt and roll the punches, and I've had to become a morning person. And I think that's the great thing about being human, is that we're adaptable creatures. This is how we have survived so long. And so we were able to adapt. And actually, I started doing this in my last deployment to Afghanistan. I had taken some Writer's Digest classes and was preparing for NaNoWriMo. That I did NaNoWriMo that year. And what I found was that at night, because my job was really intensive, up here, and long, long days, was that at the end of the day, I was exhausted. There was no room for me to write. I would sit down for an hour and get about 500 words, which is no bueno. You're distracted or you're just mentally not there. You know what I mean? For me, I know that that was the problem. So what I started doing was going to bed as soon as I got off of work. And I was also fasting at the time, which I didn't know the term, but I was only eating lunch. So it would help me to get off of work and go straight to bed. And that way I wouldn't be hungry. I would wake up and I would be fine because the hunger goes away overnight for me. And then I could wake up, I would go to the coffee shop, and I'd have my chai tea latte. I'd have my chai tea latte. At the time, I was a naughty smoker. I smoked and was the romantic version of a writer, except I was in Kandahar, Afghanistan. So I would sit there and I would write before work. I'd have my cigarettes, have my coffee, and sit there with my laptop, and I would work on my Writer's Digest assignments, and I would work on my writing. And then, of course, NaNoWriMo in November. But it taught me that, you know, depending on what's going on in your life, we have to be able to adjust. We have to be able to adjust our schedules and adjust and find something different to work for us. We are changing, constantly changing and evolving creatures. So this isn't something where we constantly have to be in a static state in our life. So anyway, but the point is we are able to adjust, and it's important to see what you can do to adjust, because we can't just look at our challenges and let that define us. We have to look at our challenges and say, how can we overcome these obstacles, or how can we go around them? So for me, that is getting up early, because at the end of the day, there's so much going on sometimes. And what I found right now is that for me, I actually do better on my business tasks first thing in the morning. As much as I have tried lately to, over the summer, spring and summer, since the kids have been out of school, I would try to get up early and write. Once I was out of the COVID shock, the world is imploding shock, I would try to get up early and write. And what I found was that it just wasn't working for me. It was one of those things where I would sit there and I was just so tired and so groggy, and I needed lots of coffee, and it just wasn't working. So what I did instead was I front loaded the stuff that was easy. It's really easy for me in the morning to do social media. It's a lot easier for me to outline my blog posts or my newsletter emails, if not write them outright. For some reason, that kind of writing, business writing, is a lot easier for me first thing in the morning, at least at this point in my life, than the fiction writing. I like to be in the mood, and I'm just not awake in the mornings. So this isn't to say that, oh, you have to turn into a morning person, but you do have to figure out what works for you, because a lot of times at the end of the day, we can be too fried to do certain things. And what I'm finding now is that at the end of the day, after doing, being a stay-at-home parent is no joke. And I've been on both sides of this. I've been working and commuting. I commuted 28 to 30 hours a week to the DC area. Not across the river, on the west side of the river, but point is, it was a horrible commute. It was 90-hour pay periods, and which is only 45 hours a week if you split it up. But things can be flexible, yada, yada. Point is, that was sometimes easier than being a stay-at-home mom. I say sometimes because that drive was killing me. I loved working. I loved having a really cool job. And, now it's just mundanity. So, it can be really tough to be a stay-at-home parent, and really rewarding as well. But the point is, sometimes that can drain us too. Now, physically, I'm exhausted at the end of the day, and emotionally. But I think what I've done and what's happened for me is that I've built resilience, and knowing that with the situation right now, I'd have to be at home anyway. It definitely helps kind of soothe that, and it helps me find a way that I can do what I love and write and share and run the Sprints and Spirits and the Author Transformation Alliance groups without, running myself totally ragged. I can do what I love without sacrificing, my kids' development. So yes, it's not going to be sunshine and rainbows this fall with having school-age kids, but we can do it. We can absolutely 100% do it. Humans have been doing this since the dawn of time. We've been managing this stuff, and yeah, we have more distractions now and more that we can do, but that's where choices come into play. So anyway, this is what I have. My business tasks for the first 2 hours of the morning, and then get the kids up at 7 a.m. Now, for some reason, right now, they're both on the couches because they both have had woken up with nightmares, of course. Poor little kitties. So I feel bad, but if you hear them, that's what's going on. But anyway, so 7 a.m. I'll get the kids up starting on next Monday, the 24th of August, 2020. I'll get them up. We'll exercise together, and then after exercise around 8 a.m. we'll do quick showers. We'll get dressed. We'll have breakfast. The whole routine, and then at 9 a.m. along with what the school has kind of given us as a guideline, we're going to start with reading books. Then we're going to do some writing practice. Then I'm going to let them watch a little bit of, these different educational shows, Alpha Blocks, Number Blocks, Jack Hartman, and then kind of rotate that again. And then for an hour, we're going to do drawing or art projects because this is a lot of fun. I know my kids love it. I really want to encourage them in this area. And then, of course, we'll have an hour for lunch and then back to some writing drills. And this is really mostly in half-hour increments. When I list 2 things, that means we're getting about a half hour each because I know that's about the attention span of my children. And they're 5 and 6 for reference. So, and then we're going to do writing drills again and then play outside. So at 2 p.m., from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m., it's cleanup time. We're going to focus on making sure all our areas are clean and that their room is clean. And then they're going to have some free time. And then I'm going to write at 3. And then I'm working to get more consistent about making healthy dinners. So that's 4 p.m. for me is just working on making dinner if I need that much time, so that at 5 we can have dinner so I can have a nice short fasting window, intermittent fasting window. And then a nice short eating window. Anyway, 5 p.m. family dinner. We're done by 6, and I am writing again. Now on Mondays, I have my 90-day group. We have like a 90-day mastermind. We keep each other accountable and really push to get hyper-focused goals completed or achieved. So I know I'm doing that on Mondays, and then on Tuesdays, I can just write until bedtime. Wednesday, I have my ATA calls, which is usually like we do group coaching or we do course Q&A. We have monthly courses and we'll do Q&A. And then Thursday I can just write. And then Friday I definitely need to, trade some writing time for some movie night with my hubby so he doesn't get too frustrated with not seeing me ever. So anyway, but at least that way I can kind of get things balanced. I love having the schedule for the kids, so it's not all about finding quote unquote balance. I think balance isn't more about giving everything equal time. It's more about finding a mix that works for your life that you can live with. This I can live with. And I know for me, sometimes when I have less time to write, I actually write more because I know that timer is on. That timer is, the minutes are ticking away, and it's a lot easier for me to write when I have things kind of pent up. So anyway, so this may not be ideal. I mean, I would love it in, like pre-COVID world, the kids would both be in school. I was so looking forward to this, my son being in full-time and my daughter being in full-time, 5 and 6 years old, because my son was in pre-K last year. So it was, it was a pretty short day. I was like, oh, I'll have 8 whole hours a day, and because the kids would be on the bus, and that's not going to happen. But I'm not going to, declare that the sky is falling. I'm going to adjust. I'm going to do the best I can for my kids and set a good example. And of course, lean on my husband as soon as he gets home, have him hopefully after dinner, kind of take over so that I can focus on doing what I need to do for my groups, my writing groups, and of course my writing. Big plans this fall, so I'm probably going to lean pretty heavily on Saturdays and Sundays too with writing. But it's definitely going to be a little more interesting. And maybe while they're watching alpha blocks and number blocks and all this stuff, maybe during this time, maybe during this time block, I might be able to get in a little bit of my writing. But we'll see, because the number one priority there is them. At least during every hour for our practice schedule, I know what my number one priority is. Anyway, I really hope this helps you guys. I hope it wasn't too long, but I would love for you guys to share some examples of your daily schedule coming up, whether you already have kids in school or your kids will be in school soon and you're doing a practice run like me. Like I said, this is going to be our schedule for leading up to school until we figure out what we're doing, and then the school dictates that. So, but they have said 5 days of instruction, definitely, whether you're click or brick, they call it. But we're going to do the best with what we have for now. And I would love to see everyone else's schedules and see how you're fitting in your business tasks, your marketing, if you're into that kind of phase of your authorship and your writing. Where are you fitting in your writing and your writing groups? If you have an accountability partner, for me, I think on Tuesdays, if I can, it's probably 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. or later in the evening when I have my accountability partner and I talk, or it might be on Saturday now because she's in a different schedule and she'll start working by that time. So anyway, and if you're watching this, accountability partner needs, I love you. I can't wait to figure it out. So anyway, I love my accountability partner. She keeps me going for sure. And she holds me accountable. So anyway, think about these things. Think about where and how and when you can meet up with your critique partners virtually for most of us, and for many of us, I should say. And think about how you can find a regimen, a schedule that works for you. There is no one size fits all. There is no magic bullet. There is no, like, we can want 8 hours a day of writing time, but that doesn't mean that's our reality. And instead of like fighting it and, kind of resisting against our reality, if we just kind of accept it and move on, we'll be a lot further on our way to getting those words down in the time we have versus wishing we just had more time to write. So I hope that makes sense, guys. I hope this is helpful. I can't wait to see what you guys do, what you share, and what your schedule is looking like. All right, I'm going to pop off here. Be sure to like, subscribe, leave me a comment, let me know if this was helpful, and share with your friends. All right, bye.